All right, hello everyone. We're back again. It's the Dyson brothers. That's who we are. And we speak out without hesitation.
Amen.
None whatsoever. I'm Jay.
I'm Bobby.
That's my baby brother. What you got this morning, man?
Well, I got a lot. But for the sake of time, let's go with the story about Stefan Helper.
Yeah, that's a good story.
And the guy that exposed him, whose name is...
Lovinger is his name.
Lovinger. I'm trying to get his first name.
Lovinger.
Adam Lovinger. Well, it seems that Mr. Adam Lovinger was working for the Department of Defense. And he was an analyst. And I guess his job was to look at all the things that were happening in the Department of Defense as far as who was doing what, or I guess. And somehow he came across Stefan Helper. And was watching what this guy was doing, was saying, wait a minute, he's not supposed to be doing this. You know, he's not a...
he's not a diplomat. He's not in the diplomatic corps.
Yeah, he's not a diplomat. You know, he's a professor at Cambridge, I think it was.
Yeah, Cambridge.
And so he's making all these contacts with all these Russians and having all these seminars with Russians, helping them do things here in America.
Well, he was a contractor. He's a DOD contractor. So what he was doing is against the law.
Yeah. Because
he was acting as a diplomat. Like he was in the diplomatic corps.
Yeah.
But the guy's just a mere contractor.
And
but, go ahead.
So Adam looks at this stuff and he takes it to his superiors and say, hey, I think this was back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
He takes this to his superiors and say, hey, this dude's doing stuff he has no business doing. Next thing you know, he gets demoted, gets his security clearance pulled, and now the guy's out of a job.
Well, he was coming across contracts that had been let to Mr. Halper, and they were suspicious. So he starts asking questions about, hey, these suspicious contracts. Now, the Trump administration had, by name request, asked for Lovinger to be a part of the National Security Council team in the White House.
Right.
In the White House. So when he stumbles across this information and exposing what Halper was up to, they yank his security clearance, tear his job from under him. Now the guy's unemployed.
Yeah.
Because he was getting too close.
The Pentagon pulled him out of the White House.
Pulled him out of the White House.
And they put him in an office somewhere where he wouldn't be in any trouble. Then
they called the section that they put him in the land of misfit toys.
Yeah, land of misfit toys. So that lets you know how good he stood in with them. But you know, all these people doing this. Remember, this is before Trump takes total control.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't got all these Obama appointees and
Mm-hmm.
Bush appointees
Mm-hmm.
and Clinton appointees out of the Pentagon yet.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't cleaned the place up yet.
Now this guy Stefan Halper apparently has some strong ties to the Russian government. Strong ties to some of the senior officials that are closely connected to Vladimir Putin. So what this guy does, he starts spying for the FBI on Carter Page, George Papadopoulos, and Michael Flynn. What they did to Michael Flynn,
yeah,
they should go to jail for that.
Yeah.
What they did to him.
And don't make no mistake, they will go to jail for it.
Yeah.
Don't, just because you don't see this stuff out in the open, do not think these people are getting away with this. They are not. But anyway, he sets Carter Page, Papadopoulos, and General Flynn up to meet with these Russians, particularly a Russian woman whose name I did not write down. But
yeah, I'll find it here.
she, you know, these are casual meetings. These aren't like anything. They had Papadopoulos thinking he was going to write some kind of report or something. And that's how they got him all to London, you know, under false pretense. This is all done by this guy, Stefan Halper. Okay, so now that's the setup. You know, these guys are in the with the Trump team. Then they act like that they just casually came across this information, like this was some kind of clandestine meeting by Papadopoulos, Carter Page, and General Flynn, when they set it up. And so then they bury Stefan Halper. They bury this guy and act like, oh no, you know, everybody that comes out and says, well, we're discovering this stuff, or what's the guy's name? The British spy?
Oh, Christopher Steele.
Christopher Steele. They act like Steele uncovered this information by happenstance. It was organic, as they say. You know, he just happened to run across it and exposes it. And so now, oh, we got to investigate this. And all this whole Russian dossier thing, all this stuff, it's all falling apart. You're going to see in the coming weeks how it's falling apart. And it's going to be that this was a setup. That General Flynn did not do the things they accused him of. None of these guys, Manafort, all these guys were set up. And so this is going to start coming out. And when it does, you're not going to hear it on the mainstream media. And I'm going to tell you something else. If you're doing research, do not use Google. Use DuckDuckGo. Because Google has an algorithm. If you put in Stefan Halper, he'll come up way down on the list. Because they don't want you to see who this guy is. So use DuckDuckGo. Do not use Google. Don't use Google for anything for that matter.
So in 2016, this is with regard to Michael Flynn. So in 2016, Halper goes to the FBI and says that he witnesses this interaction between Michael Flynn at this dinner with another Russian academic, Svetlana Lakhova. This is so apparently in 2014 is when this interaction between Flynn and Lakhova takes place. So Halper reports it to the FBI saying it was a suspicious interaction.
Yeah.
So that information gets leaked to the London news media. Then it ends up here in the United States. Now, let's do a little back history on Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn was in the Obama administration. When he was upset with the Obama administration over we have Al-Qaeda on the run, etc., etc. So the Clintons and Obama, back then, they push him out of the administration. When they push him out of the administration, because he was director of the CIA at this point.
Right.
So he has information that is totally contradictory to what Obama and Clinton are out there pushing about Al-Qaeda. So when Flynn gets pushed out, guess who he goes and connects himself to? The Trump campaign. Now, that's a thorn in Obama and Clinton's side. Why? This dude, Michael Flynn, was CIA director. Guess what information he has?
So you got to get rid of this guy.
They got to get rid of the guy now.
Got to destroy his credibility.
Yep. So he joins the Trump campaign. Now he's in the administration. At the same time, he's national security advisor in the Trump administration. From CIA director to national security advisor. So now, they can't have that.
No, can't have that. You know,
Obama and Clinton, they can't have that.
Can't have that. This guy knows too much.
Okay, so now let's keep timelining this stuff so it makes sense. Trump was not supposed to win that election.
Right.
Here's Michael Flynn connected to Trump on the campaign.
Right.
A former Obama CIA director. This guy knows all the details.
Yeah.
He knows where all the bodies are buried. He knows all of this. Trump's not supposed to win this election. If Hillary wins this election and becomes president, Michael Flynn is persona non grata.
Yeah, it all goes away.
All
of it goes
all goes away.
Nothing of what the stuff we're talking about now would not be up for discussion.
No.
Because we wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know about it. We wouldn't know about it. So when Trump gets elected president and he chooses Michael Flynn, that thorn that's already in the side of Obama and Clinton, talking Hillary Clinton, not Bill Clinton, but Hillary Clinton, it's like, no, we can't have this guy sitting there, National Security Council, National Security Advisor, top dog in the NSA. We can't have that. We can't have that.
Can't have that.
This dude knows where all the bodies are buried.
So we got to get rid of him because, see, this was not supposed to happen. You know, Trump was going to lose, and he was going to lose real big, and everybody was going to say, yay, we stopped the evil Donald Trump from taking over the world. You know, this is how they were going to play this. And even if this stuff came out, it was going to be, that's nothing. That's nothing. All that stuff is going to be buried. And so now we're dealing with this, and we're just, this isn't the tip. This is the tip of the iceberg. You know, this stuff hasn't all this stuff hasn't fallen out yet. But all you're going to keep hearing is impeachment on the MSNs. You're going to keep hearing about what happened last week with Cohen and Lanny Davis, which Lanny Davis has walked back all that stuff. He said, no, that didn't happen. You know, I never, you know, everything about Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, all this stuff is coming out, and it's all being debunked, and it's all we are learning day by day that it was all a setup. This was all created, you know, by Obama and Clinton. They were setting up for Hillary Clinton to walk into power, you know, and pick up where Obama left off. And
none of this information that we're discovering today, we would have never heard about Stephen Halper.
Never heard about it.
We never heard about it.
Never heard about it.
Because it would have all been swept up under the rug. So now what they use against Flynn is a conversation that he has with a former Russian ambassador, Sergei Kislyak. So this conversation leaked to the Washington Post. This is in 2017. Leaked to the Washington Post. The FBI then comes and questions Flynn about this. The agent who interviewed Flynn says, hey, the guy's not lying. He's telling the truth.
Yeah.
But then Flynn has to plead guilty for lying to special counsel Robert Mueller about this conversation. The dude spend $1 million. Michael Flynn spends $1 million in his defense, has to sell his house. Has to sell his house.
So they were destroying it.
Destroying it. Because now those orders to destroy Michael Flynn, where do you think that came from?
Bugs Bunny.
And Daffy.
Had to.
So why go after this? Carter Page and George Papadopoulos, they're just sideshows.
Yeah. Just, you know, icing on the cake.
Yeah,
they make it look good. They make it look good. Like they're not going after one guy.
Yeah.
But this was all about getting Flynn.
It's all about getting Flynn. All about getting it. So Flynn has to plead guilty. Then they use information from Halper about Flynn's interaction with Svetlana, or Svetlana Lakova, which was again all of a lie. Emails are going back and forth between Flynn and Lakova, and what Flynn is asking for is, hey, I want a copy of that 1930s postcard that you showed me at the dinner. That's it. That's it. Yeah. But they want to make it seem like, oh, he's got connections to all these Russians. When who has connections to all these Russians is Stefan Halper.
You know, he sets everything up.
He sets
all the meetings up. he gets them over there under the false pretense, and then, goes to the, but hey, I got something, that looks suspicious. No, you got something that we told you to do, acting like he's some rogue, lone wolf, and he's running around here, with this intel, like a Bourne movie or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like a Jason Bourne movie. This one reporter decides he's gonna, ask about Blackbriar, and next thing you know, they're trying to kill him. This is the nonsense that these people are doing. Life imitating art. And they're getting busted for it. But you're not gonna hear anything about it. Like I say, do your research, but do not use Google. Do your research and look up these names, Stefan Helper. Look up those names. Like he asked you yesterday to look up
John Huber.
John Huber. When you run across these names, look up who these people are. And when you look up Stefan Helper, you're going to see all these connections with Russians.
And look up Adam Lovinger, Lovin,
and see how they treated that guy.
Yeah,
treated that guy. And Sarah Carter.com. That's
Sarah A. Carter.
Sarah A. Carter. That's Sarah. That's SARA Carter.com. Look on her website and you will see the story about.
It's a pretty detailed story.
Pretty detailed story. She's pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah, she's a great investigative reporter, and she doesn't work in the bubble.
No,
she works outside of the bubble.
Yes.
But so look at what these folks are ready, willing, and able to do to destroy people's lives. All based on lies.
On lies. Nothing real. Nothing, not like you saw this guy sneaking out the back door. His wife goes in front of the restaurant and he all of a sudden he dips out the back and, cause he was there with his girlfriend. So he dips out the back, comes around the front, and act like, I just got here. I just got here. And when you've been here, and all of a sudden she showed up. And I saw you pull in here, so I one of those kind of things. No, this is not who these people are. These people are evil. They're wicked. They don't care about you. All that nonsense down on the border, that's a whole other thing than what you're hearing. Completely a whole other thing. The reason they want open borders is not so they can, help the poor, the homeless, and the oppressed. No, that's not what they're doing. Like I say, I'm not ready to talk about that yet because I got to get more information on it. But believe me, all this stuff you're hearing about pedophile priests is worse than you think, people. And it's not just the U.S. either. It's global. Yeah, these people are sick and wicked.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And what you're going to learn in the coming years, you're going to be literally like in the movies, with your rail, your pitchforks, and your tar and feathers.
Ready to go ride somebody out of town on a rail.
You're going to be upset, because these people have been lying to us all these years.
And now they're being exposed.
And you can thank Donald Trump and his crew. And, a lot of the generals at the Pentagon who have been watching this stuff and couldn't do anything about it. But now they're working with him and they're exposing this stuff. And like I say, look at what happened last year with the Saudi royal family. Okay, that was not an isolated incident, people. There was something going on in that. But do your research and write down names. When you hear a name in a news story, especially on the internet, look that stuff up. Just don't take people's word for things.
Especially that line mainstream media.
Yeah, look it up, because they're going to try to throw you off with, the collusion, was Trump, was Flynn, and it was Papadopoulos, it was Carter Page. No, it was Stefan Helper putting this crap together.
Yeah.
At the behest of the Obama administration. And that's how it is. And when this all goes down, you're not going to like it, but you're not going to be able to deny it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, hey, you can't unsee the truth, no matter how hard you try. And this is not what Bobby and I are talking about. It's not our truth. It's through research that we're finding this stuff out. Through research. Like he says, hey, get a name, go look it up.
Go look it up.
Go look it up.
You know, don't just take anybody's word for anything. You go look it up for yourself. And I was going to talk about this young lady. She's on YouTube, you know, and she's real young, but she actually knows what she's talking about, you know. I'm not going to put her name up because I haven't gotten her permission yet. But, you know, for a young lady, she's really got her head. Now, you know, as a young person, she talks like a young person, you know. So, you know, expect that to happen. But she has her, you know, head in the right place. And she's seeing that, hey, you Democrats have been lying to my people for decades. For decades. And this isn't somebody that's 40, 50 years old. She's a young girl. She looks 19, 20, tops. She's a young girl. But, you know, she got her head in the right place. And more people. Now, she can say stuff to her generation that they say for me, oh, man, old man, shut up.
Oh, yeah, old man, you don't know what you're talking about.
But when she says it, you know, now they have to challenge her. And like I tell people, you think you're challenging me. No, go look up what I tell you. You know, what I'm saying, go look that stuff up. You're not challenging me. You're challenging truth. You know, and the truth doesn't need defending. It stands on its own.
It's like with this thing with Michael Cohen and Lanny Davis. Lanny Davis comes out and says, hey, I don't have any information about whether Trump knew about this meeting at Trump Towers before it happened. So he walks it back.
Yeah, he walks it back.
But the lying mainstream media, specifically CNN, won't retract what they've written. Okay, because they want that narrative still out there, because they know that, hey, they got a core of bobbleheads that are going to believe them.
They're not going to do any research. They're not going to check anything. They're not going to question anything. And the first time you ask a question, you become the enemy of a lie.
Then you have folks on the left out there beating that drum. Hey, let's impeach him because he supposedly knew about the meeting at Trump Towers before the meeting took place. Let's impeach him. Yeah. It's like, really, folks?
Yep.
So now we're going to start impeaching presidents because they knew about something before it took place? Really? That's an impeachable offense.
That's an impeachable offense.
Really? You folks on the left have lost your collective minds. And the reason that you have is because you believe lies. Over and over and over again. If that lie keeps getting repeated, some people are going to pick it up and run with it as it's the truth.
And if you say anything to them, hey, that's a lie.
Yeah.
And God help you if you expose it and show them that it's a lie.
Yeah.
Well, then it's like, you know, well, you're an evil, bad person and you're always angry and stuff. No, I just told you the truth and you don't want to accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Michael Claire Neeson talks about.
Yeah.
You're speaking the truth, but I don't want to hear that.
I want to hear
Don't hear it. That messes with my narrative, messes with my truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. So, but as the longer this continues to go on, the more people on the left, we're going to see heads roll.
Yep.
A lot of this can be looked at as being treasonous.
Yes. Yes. And the thing about treason, you need to look up military tribunals and how they run that thing. When Benedict Arnold was accused of treason, he was no longer considered an American. He was considered an enemy combatant. When you come up on treason charges, you are an enemy combatant now. And guess what? You don't get due process. You get tried by military people for a military crime. You committed a crime against the state, against the nation, against its people. So now we're going to try you. And they don't have to tell you about it. So as they get popped, it's going to be a backstory to make it sound like, oh, well, they were this great and awesome. And you know, oh, I'm going to put it like this. 8 years ago, how were they talking about John McCain?
Oh, man, he was the most evil thing walking the face of the earth.
They were questioning his military service.
Yep.
The status of whether he was really a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And they questioned everything about the man. Every Saturday Night Live skit you saw was bashing McCain. He was a dope. He was a moron. He was an idiot.
Yep. Stupid.
Now they celebrate him as this great hero. You know, he served his country well. Well, he wasn't serving his country well 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, the hypocrisy on that side of the fence is appalling.
It is. It is.
You know, and
very
it's like,
appalling.
and people used to say to me on Facebook, why are you so vicious against the left? Because you don't understand who these people are.
Yeah, bunch of liars.
You think they just have a different opinion than you.
They're a bunch of liars.
No, they don't have a different opinion than you. They want to take you out. They don't think you have a right to anything that they don't give to you. These people aren't interested in your opinion. They're interested in you telling you what you can and you cannot do. That's why I'm so vicious toward them.
Bunch of snakes in the grass. That's what they are.
And you think I'm bad, you don't want to get him started.
Yeah, I have no use for the left, for anything on the left. I have no use for it. I remember telling someone years ago, I haven't seen a Democrat yet that I would vote for. And I felt that way for years.
I'll put it like this. You think everything is useful. Everybody's opinions counts, right? You want to believe that. I know a lot of you do. You know, why are you so harsh on the left? Well, I look at the left like used toothpaste. What do you do with that?
Spit it out.
Thank you. You know, it's useless to you after you use it. So when the left uses you, you become used toothpaste to them. They don't care what happens to you now, long as they have control. I know some of you don't want to believe that. You think they're out here helping you defend, you know, against racism and all that stuff like that. And, you know, as far as racism goes, it's a construct to keep people at each other.
Keep people at each other's throats. To keep the divisiveness
going. So when you come to me with, oh, racism, you know, I'm like, okay, dude, you really don't want to open that door with me. Because no, I don't look at it as racism. What does racism exist? Do wolves exist? Do bears live in the woods? You know, that's not what I'm talking about, whether or not it exists. What I'm talking about is just because it does exist, just because it rains sometimes, don't mean you wear a raincoat every day. You know, and everybody want to act like, oh, every time you have an encounter with a white person, it has to be racially motivated. No, it doesn't. You know, and it's like you walking around and you can see these white people, you know, they don't want to confront you or say anything to, you know, to challenge you because they think you're going to go off on them.
Yeah, with the race card.
Yeah, that you're going to play the race card.
Yeah.
Guy, we were coming out to this sub shop the other day, and it's a white guy, when he parked his truck a little too close, you know, and he got all apologetic. Now, dude, that ain't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty of room over here.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's thinking, wow, what if they get upset? Mm-hmm. You know, because the news media has you people out there thinking like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is racist. Mm-hmm. Trump's a racist. Well, how is he a racist? When you ask him, what has he done that's racially motivated to you? And they can't answer. Well, he's just a racist, you know, and you're a sellout for not seeing. Look how they jumping all over Tiger Woods for what he said. You know, just pure, utter nonsense. No, it's about America, people. You know, no, we're not the perfect, you know, you can say, well, America did this, America did that. Yeah, well, America did some other things too, like save the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, from people like we're talking about now.
Fascists.
They saved the world from these people. Now they tried to make their comeback, but thanks to Trump and the Pentagon, These guys are getting the smackdown put on them. And hopefully this time, they will have nowhere to run to. Won't be no Argentina.
No Argentina.
Won't be no Egypt. Won't be no Iran. You can't run to the Far East nowhere. No, you going down.
Yeah.
No Australia. You going down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're going down.
All right. So that's our take today. Bobby, give them the smash.
All right. If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and then ding that bell so you'll get alerts whenever we put up a video. And again, if you have anything to say contrary that you think we're wrong, tell us about it.
Come on.
Tell us about it.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get with you. And if you have anything you want us to look at, let us know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't mind doing research.
Sure don't. All right. So we'll be back again tomorrow with more stuff because, hey, that lying mainstream news media, man, they keep feeding us with stuff. And do your research.
Yeah, do your own research.
Do your own research.
You know, so you'll know what you're talking about.
Right. All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Internet.